Good afternoon, friends. Your host Amit Singh Atwal, live from Radbara University, Mohali campus. Welcome to all my viewers and my today's special guest from the hotel industry, Mr. Pankaj. Today we will discuss about how the hotel industry is moving after this pandemic. What are the issues the young students facing who are completed their hotel managements from the different institutes? Before starting, I will just give a brief about Mr. Pankaj. Perkin has a huge experience of 23 years of quality experience. He served 1 decade in Lemon Tree Hotel, and currently he is a vice president of Royal Chit Hotels, in which 22 hotels are operational and 5 in pre-opening stage. He is the only hotelier in the India who founded team member of GACS, Global Association of Corporate Services. Welcome, Mr. Perkett. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Amit, and good afternoon, everybody.
Sir, you have a very huge experience. I have shared only a few things. I request if you can just tell us about yourself first to the viewers. It's very good, sir.
So, students and my fellow upcoming budding hoteliers, it is so nice that it's so nice that when I speak to you, 23 years back, I was in the similar position as you are right now. Uh, Eventually, so I will take you back. When I initially started my career way back in 1999, uh, I had seen something worse, which the entire world has seen, which currently is happening now. The fall of Lehman Brothers and the fall of as soon as the Lehman Brothers had fallen down, the global recession started. So the every time the impact which happens globally, the first industry which is hit is just hospitality, tourism, and airlines because all three are interconnected. However, I was lucky enough. I'm talking about in 2008, the recession started. Uh, Again, it took a while for the entire global economy and Indian tourism, of course, to revive that. And of course, this pandemic. Having said this, hotels, of course, was never my passion, of course. I really wanted to join Indian Armed Forces, but again, I could not because of my family reasons. But I have no regret today. I think, today, I think 50% what I do is match the Indian Armed Forces because if you see that you have to dress well, you have to get up on time, you have to reach the office on time, and we have no times to come, and we have no time to come back. Of course, and that's the industry norms these days. Uh, of course, um, telling about my personal, of course, I'm married. I've got my wife. She's also hotelier, and I have my mother, of course, and I have my four-legged daughter. Her name is Laila. So this is what about me. Of course, I've been born and brought up in Delhi. I did my schooling from St. Columbus, New Delhi, and I did my hotel management from a private institute in Darjeeling. So I spent 3 years doing my diploma course that time, and my initial career started with Intercontinental. I spent roughly about 3.5 4 years there, Intercontinental Park Royal in Delhi. Moved on to Western Continental, and then when Lemon Tree was starting and when Lemon Tree was getting formed, I was a part of the core tea operation. I was a part of the founding team there. So we were the first 50 employees who started the Lemon Tree company. After the course, I worked Lemon Tree for a while. If you heard of it, went on to join a five-star hotel in Chennai called Raintree. Rejoined back Lemon Tree again, and of course now I'm with Royal Hotels. Now let me give you a segmentation differences of how hotels basically are poised in India. Now So I will take you back when your parents were kid, and I'm talking about your and their parents. They which could be your granddad, could be your grandfather, grandmother. So initially, when the industrialization started in India, before in the industrialization started in India, we only had the Fiat and the ambassadors, which were rolling in the Indian roads. Then came the revolution. The first Maruti car came in, then Hyundai came in, and everything came in. So, so let me take you back. So when we used to travel during that era, you only had five-star hotels, and you had a hotels type in Pargan, which are non-classified. So there was a huge segment mismatch, which today, of course, industry is witnessing. So today, so yet in yesteryears we used to call five-star hotels. We used to call the five-star, four-star, three-star, two-star, one-star. Today we call them as luxury, upper upscale, mid-scale, and economies. So you understand the differentiation has changed. The nomenclature has changed. So today, so likewise, so I will give you one more example. So just imagine when 2011 attacks happened on the Twin Tower in US, and after that, the Taj Mumbai was attacked. So there was a new normal which came into hotel industry. Now, what was that normal which came in? So every guest checked in. You're supposed to give Aadhaar card, PAN card, a photo ID. There was baggage screening happening at the hotels. There were metal detected doors. Now this normal started when the attacks happened on Twin Towers. So the industry said we want to brief up our security measures, and this has now been followed in any hotel, and that has become a part and bread of any hotel opening up now and in the future. Now this pandemic, again, the new normal has changed. When I say the new normal has changed, today people are looking for more hygiene and safety measures deployed. The way the room has to be clean, the way the room has to be sanitized, how the food is being served, is the plates are being sanitized, is the cutlery being sanitized, is the employee now getting vaccinated, are all your employee vaccinated? So these are the new normals today, and this new normal is going to be the future, hence going forward. So now I'm going to take you back again when the security measures was beefed up. Three things were introduced in the hotel industry as a compulsory, which was called you used to have a baggage screening. Any Indian or foreigner guest checking, especially Indian guest checking in, you're supposed to have your photo ID cards. Then checking of the when you enter any hotel, they check the underneath chassis of the car by instrument. Then of course when you come in, of course there's a metal detector door which tells you if you're carrying an alarm or you're carrying any suspicious items,
Okay.
and the security checks you through a handmeld detector. So these are the new normals which started then, and of course has become a part and parcel today of our daily lives when we go to the hotels, when we go into a normal work, and when we open a new hotel, this is a part of a pre-opening list. We have to have this thing. Similarly, going now as the pandemic, of course, as we are battling, there's a second wave in the country, which has broken the entire back, especially of the hospitality sector. I'm going to tell you some good things also. I'm going to let you tell you what has happened to us. So now going forward, what is the focus today is that how are we now sanitizing our rooms after the guest checks out? What chemicals are being used? What chemicals being used to wash the vegetable coming from outside? What temperature are being stored on? Is the chef wearing gloves? Is the chef wearing the caps? Are they being vaccinated? So these are the new things which are going to be implemented. We have already started implementing this in all hotels very successfully. Now we also now get this. Now when we deploy all these safety and hygiene measures, we also now getting it audited by international firms so that we are certified, saying that hey, we are using this. But today's traveler wants, he may spend an extra money, or he may give you extra 500,000 rupees more, but he wants to make sure that when he goes out, himself and his family and kids has to be saved by following these measures. Now this is going to be the new norm.
Okay.
Now I firstly hope and pray that all of you are safe and fine. My request to everybody on this call is that please wear masks, sanitize yourself, social distancing, and of course the unlocking process has already started. But again, we as an individual, as a responsible country member, we still have to ensure that we do not gather in public, we avoid public meetings. This is what how we can contribute to the growth of this country and growth of this sector. Now, Amit asked me this question that what happened. So typically, Now the following things have changed. Now I'm going to give you some differentiation, and this is for you to understand. And please, I when I say this, please don't quote me wrong. So in India, there are two kind of hotel operators. One is the international hotel operators. One is the domestic hotel operators. Now this domestic versus international hotel operators. So I will tell you the domicile mix. When I mean what is a domicile, the nationality mix of this people coming and staying in the international hotel and the domestic hotel. International hotel, their 75 to 80% guests are all international,
Okay.
and 20% is Indian. The top CEOs and Ds who prefer to stay in the premium luxury properties. If you remember, I said today the normal has changed. Today we don't classify five-star luxury. We don't say five-star. We say luxury. Right? For us, JW Marriott Aerocity is a luxury hotel. Right? For me, Novotel, no, for me, Novo Pullman is a luxury hotel. For me, Andaz in Aerocity is a luxury hotel. So So when I classify those hotels in domestic chains, your 80% travelers are all domestic and 20% are international. Now, India has been surviving on domestic tourism. I'll tell you how. Firstly, if you see today, if you go to Rishikesh, if you go to Shimla, you find hotels right from a 200 for a 500 rupee till 25,000 rupees. Reason being was because today everybody wants to travel. Every Indian has a bandwidth to travel, whether he's traveling with a family staying in a final room, or whether he's traveling and staying in 25,000. So please understand. So this is how the domestic tourism has increased. So that means India is very self-sustained when it comes to a domestic growth sector. So what happened during the first wave? After the first wave, when we opened up and when the international hotels opened up, now domestic hotels never at risk because they were surviving already on 80% domestic tourism. Because 20% international was not coming in. There was no international airlines coming in, no international guests coming in, no corporate, no conferences. So what happened? Even international opened up. So they started eating from the same pie. So what happened? They started a rate war. When I say the price war, rate war. So today, so let me tell you, a pre-COVID uh, rate at any of the luxury hotel in Aerocity was averagely between 10,000 rupees a day to 12,500 starting upwards. Today, such same luxury hotels you can find at 4,500 rupees. So you understand. So this was the rate at the domestic hotel chains like Sorovar, Lemon Tree, uh, and Royal Orchid where I work. We were with the same. We were at a price range between 4,500 to 7,000 rupees. So
Okay.
again, we had no option than to lower rates. So this is how the price was started. But however, India, is a very self-sustaining market. Now, what survived in the first COVID,
Sir,
that
I just want to know because these are the situations how after COVID all this thing happened. Okay, but how what your experience of a huge experience, how you feel ki how much time India will take to bounce back to normal scenario?
so Amit, I'll give you a roughly a very important. This is exactly I was about to tell you. So after the first wave, it hit us last year, and when we started opening hotel last September, October, after 6 months of lockdown, we started opening hotels. So we define hotels into we define hotels into the resort destinations and and corporate destinations. So what immediately picked up was the resort destination. If you said the Shimla was packed up, Dharamshala was packed. Everybody was sick and tired, and they all wanted to go out and travel. So these destinations always came in demand. That's number one. Number two, the corporate destinations like Gurgaon,
Okay.
Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai. These are usually ITS supported hubs. Now, what happened? These companies eventually was working from home only. Since there was no travel happening, so their work never stopped. But again, their travel stopped because they all were working from home because mostly of the work was by the laptop. But again, what happened then? The visit of the client was not happening, and the international buyers were not coming in meeting them. That travel stopped. So today, Gurgaon is struggling. Gurgaon as a market which used to do 80%, 85% occupancy throughout the week. where you have never find any rooms. You know, rooms are find at higher ADRs. Today you can find rooms in Gurgaon. Similar is the case of Bangalore. Similar is the case of Mumbai, and similar is the case of Chennai, Hyderabad. So all this. So what's going to happen very soon is when this normal thing, when the thing comes back to normal. So today, work from home has become a criteria. You know, today, if you see, I'm sitting at home and I'm talking from home. Of course, for us, as soon as the market opens and unlocking starts, I can't sit home. Of course, I have to travel. Of course, we have to go and see hotels opening up and everything. So, so my request to all of you is please do not get disheartened. First of all, there will be an industry slackness. Let me tell you, the jobs in the industry will not be so easy right now as you compared pre-COVID. But at the same time, my request to all of you is stay motivated because there are so many hotels which are supposed to open up in next 1 year time because everybody has halted their opening up. They don't want to build up their own expenses and costs right now, so they've halted up. This eventually will come up after 6 months, probably a year, but they will definitely open up. But my request to everybody, all the students basically, is do not get disheartened. Look at it in a very positive way. Today, education, the normal culture has changed. So this is what has changed right now. And there have been a lot of job losses as well. In the industry. I can't give you the numbers, of course, but there has been a considerable amount of losses. People I know personally have lost their jobs or they're sitting at home. But at the same time, I'm very sure that as the industry picks up, hotel, airline, and tourism will be the first industry to bounce back, and the recovery time I feel it will be end of 2022.
It's a very long time. But it will take one
It's a
and a
very
half
long
years
time.
more.
It's a very long time. I may be wrong also. I think, and I pray and hope that I may be proved wrong. But this is what I expect. But at the
Yes,
same time, if you see,
after
things.
this pandemic, the hotel industry working culture may change also.
So this is exactly I'm saying. The safety, the hygiene measures, the sanitizing measures, the cleaning measures, everything has changed. The new normal culture has set up in. So let me tell you, and this has to be a phenomena carry forward. We cannot divert by because moment we do not follow this normal culture, people and the companies. So let me tell you, this will become as an audit and a part of the audit committee when they come. For example, any corporate come and see the hotel for inspection, it will be a part of the audit committee that how the safety, hygiene measures and sanitary measures being followed in the hotel. If they are not being followed, let me tell you that hotel will not get business and they'll be deleted from their hotel list. So we have to follow this, and we have to follow this in a good faith because we're going to help our own colleagues not to get infected. We're going to help our guests who are coming and giving them the safety and hygiene as promised by the brands.
But this is very true. You said about how the conditions and how the industry will change after pandemic. But sir, I want to know one thing because when our student join the industry after completion of their degree and during the internship, one normal excuse every time we in the university we used to get there is long working hours in the hotel. That's why we have not joined the hotel. So why we have long working hours in hotel industry? I can say shifts, long shifts.
So, sir,
This is
this
a
question being asked
question
me.
used to be get from the students कि सर बहुत लंबे शिफ्ट थी रोज ऐसा ही हो रहा था इसीलिए हमने वो इंडस्ट्री होटल छोड़ दिया.
So, so I'm going to. So a lot of people ask me these questions. And, it's a very interesting thing today. So let me tell you, so all the students who are listening to me today, we are not in the world of 9 to 6. Number one. Number two, we are in the world of competitive edge and era. We all have to be competitive into a workplace, into a thought process and innovation. So three things, please remember: workplace, thought process, and innovation. If you have these three things and you are ahead and thinking ahead of these three things, you'll be successful. Now, coming back and answering Amit's question, which you all want to know, why there's long working hour. So tell me an industry where there's no long working hours. For example, so today So let me give you an example. A few of my friends are commercial pilot. When I say commercial pilot, they fly with Indigo, or they fly with SpiceJet, and some of them fly internationally. So I will give you a very classic example of a friend of mine, very closely flying Indigo as a check pilot. He's a check pilot. He's an examiner, but he's also the pilot. So typically, if he has a shift, so earlier what used to happen. So I'm going to give you earlier and today example. Example: Air India pilots today earlier used to do one sector. They used to go in the morning and come back after 3-4 hours after doing the flying and after halting. But today the is called efficiency of services. Today everybody, all these pilots who fly, they fly four sectors. What do you mean by four sector? That means if he takes off from Delhi, he will touch down back in Delhi at late night, but he will do four times takeoff and four times touchdown. You understanding? Four time touchdown, takeoff and four time touchdown. Earlier it was only one time, going and coming back, and of course they off for the day. Today it is not the same culture. Today the world have changed because the amount of they need to know efficiency. There are some rules in DGC, of course, the pilot cannot fly beyond that, but they they all come in the same complex, and so the airlines are making the duty rosters so that they do not default and the pilots are not tired and they are not they don't feel they don't have fatigue because they're very important because they have so many lives with them. So they fly. So if he goes in the morning, he only comes back late night or the next day morning. Please understand that. So I'm just quoting. So please don't quote me any of the airline. But this is the normal culture today. So today, if I today I have my jobs at 9:30 and my finishes by around 6:30. At the same time, if I don't finish my job, I would not be a satisfied person when I come back. So please, if you think that if you want to do a 9 to 6 job, let me tell you, neither a private, neither it's only thing then you should be an IS officer or an IPS officer. I think everybody should, or and I think you should be in government services or civil services. But today there also there's no time of coming and going back because the pressure of work is so much everywhere. And man, let me tell you, dear students, the only way you can survive today, it's not about working long hours. It is also working smartly, have innovative thoughts process, have very your mind is fresh, and you have to cope with the situation. So today, if you think that you want to work, today normal average working hour for me is around 14 hours a day. So that's a normal I work, but I enjoy myself. I enjoy it. So 12 to 14 hours is the time normally I work in.
Okay.
And sometimes when I'm traveling, I only sleep only 4-5 hours.
But sir,
So that's
if I'm a student who just passed out from the 12th, from a young aspirant who had just completed the 12th, why should a student opt for hotel management course? In
so I'll
your
tell you
views?
why. So I'll tell you why one should opt for hotel management. Now earlier when I did my course in 1999, I only had hotels as my career option. Today hotels have changed. Today, when you do hotel management, you can get into facility management after having some amount of experience in the industry. Today, you can open your own restaurants after having some more experience. Today, you can open your own cloud kitchen after getting some experience working in the industry and understanding how the food costs, how the nomenclature in the food industry works. You can get into the customer services. You can get into airlines. So there are various options available. So earlier, as I said, earlier when we did a hotel management way back in 1990, we only had hotels as a career option. Today, you have multiple careers as an option. So after, but again, the reason I have told you so many streams, but the only thing I want to tell you is that before you join any of these streams, work at least for 3 to 4 years in the hotel and get that required experience before you thought of moving out from the industry and getting into facility management, getting into revenue, getting into your own restaurants, getting into your own small hotels, getting into a cloud kitchen or facility. So there, and today, if you see the hospitals like Medanta, the hospitals like Max and Fortis across the country, they are like 5-star hotels. So they require a lot of hotel management graduates to handle their guest relation teams, and they pay you very handsomely, provided you can take and witness those pains and patient coming in basically. So you have ample of avenues open up. So it's not that one so that you can only work in hotels and resort. You can work in hotels and resorts. You can work in these multiple dimensions. Plus, you can start opening up, looking, and you can become an entrepreneur your own self.
That's the reason why should one join the hotel industry. And so this you explain why should one should join. One personal question: why you had joined the hotel management course or a hotel industry?
So I remember I was born and brought up in Delhi. So when Taj Palace, when so I used to stay very close to ITC Moria Sheraton. So when I used to go out from there every time, so I used to see that lights, the life, and I when I went inside, I could see the glamorous life because people say the people in hotels have a very glamorous life, very like. So let me tell you, it's not glamorous at all. Firstly, we all work in the industry. We have to look good. We have to smell good, and we have to ensure that that well, that's the industry, and we have to speak well. There are three things we have to have. If you have these three possessions, let me tell you, then nobody can stop your growth as well. But again, of course, the service has to be done by heart. The service has to be, the guest has to be served. So, as I said, Amit, hotels was never my area of expertise. I wanted to join the Indian Army, and I wanted to join the armed forces. I was disciplined all my life, of course. I was on time. For me, nothing was impossible, and this is how I correlate industry. That you are on time. You have to be on time. You have to look as smart. You have to wear. You have to look smart. You have to wear good clothes. You have to smell good, and we cannot say a no into industry. Because everything is possible in our industry. So this is how I correlated. And when I could not join army, I thought the hotel was my best suited job. And trust me, I have no regret. I have no regret that why did not I join army. I'm happy what I'm doing right now.
So, because myself, I belongs to a fraternity called a training and placement, and because we support the students to get the opportunities in different fields. A normal question in my mind: when, why do, what you look as an employer when you do the interviews of the students? A basic,
Firstly, what I look is in today's time that if you have a right attitude, I can train you for skills. If you don't have the attitude, then one thing I look for everybody is an attitude. You have to have a right attitude. If you have a right attitude, then you're open to learn everything and anything. But if your attitude is wrong, trust me, then I think you're in the wrong. You are in the wrong industry everywhere, not in the hotels. IT, ITS, anywhere you go, you can't work anywhere. So what I look at any student which I meet, I look at the attitude and I look at the smile. How often they smile.
okay. So, before concluding this entire informative, full of information, this session we have, I wish if you can just conclude entire webinar in your own words, this entire talk show in your own words. What's the message you want to give to the
Amit, I
young
can't hear you because your voice is breaking in between. I can't hear you, Amit. You have to repeat your question again.
Sir, I appreciate if you can just conclude entire talk show in your own words.
So, firstly, dear students, do not be disheartened. That's number one. If there is a if there's a night, there'll be a day as well. So look for the new day because there's a sunrise every day, which happens. So hope is something we're surviving on. My request to everybody is please get vaccinated ASAP. That's number one. Number two, read what's happening in the industry. Industry is definitely down, of course, and we would bounce back very soon. And so do not be fertile saying that I will not get a job. Trust me, it is not going to happen. there'll be huge amount of jobs opening up very, very soon because there's so much of hotels which will open up. The industry with because I can't quantify with numbers, but I know that the Royal Orchid has around 25 hotels to be opened up, and we all have stalled the project because due to current pandemic. But this will all open now in some time once we get back to the normalcy. So just imagine the amount of jobs will be created in the market. So don't worry about it. I think keep your chin up. Uh, Look about new innovation, understand about technology because today technology and hotels are working hand in hand. Read the new latest articles on the hospitality magazines. You'll understand what's going to happen. And I just be hopeful and of course that we would have number of jobs for you, especially with Raid Bar. So at Royal Oak Hotel. So Amit, I'll be more than in case you have placements to be done, do let us know. I will be more than I'll be more than happy to give you a lot of placements very soon for the budding and passing our students. So that's the commitment I can give it to you. At the same time, I say be hopeful, focus on new nomenclature. But it took me around 6 months to get a job. And because I was a young guy, I also got depressed, but I never gave up myself. So please do not give up yourself. Things will happen. Have patience.
Thanks, Mr. Perkin. And I can just summarize few things what Sir has just said. Right attitude, be patient, and be positive. I think these are the three mantras given by Mr. Perkin Rosha for
And
building
and
experience.
and one more
Yes,
and
sir.
one more thing I add:
Yes, sir.
be thoughtful and be innovative.
Great, sir. Okay. Be thoughtful. Okay, sir. Thanks, sir, for joining us in this talk show. And this is Mr. Perkin Rosha from Vice President Royal Orchid Group. Sir, thanks for coming with us and sparing your valuable time with this Riyadh Bara Season 3 Connect. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me, Amit. Thank you. It was lovely talking to you.
Thanks, viewers, for watching us in this Riyadh Bara Season 3. And Mr. Perkin has just shared his views how the industry will soon bounce back, and before 2022 we will see the good things happening in the hotel industry. And he also shared you should be a thoughtful positive attitude and be patient if you want to succeed in this hotel industry. These are the three mantras given by Mr. Perkin. Thanks, viewer, for watching us. Thanks. Stay safe, stay happy.